What is the best method to get to the top of society? To be the best in your profession. How can you become the most successful person in your whole family, in your town? How can you become really famous? What is the path to being very important? Well, it's not the path that most think it is. It's not by getting all you can. It's not by putting others people down. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about getting on the TV news every night. So, how does it work? What is the best path? Well, it is found in the Bible. In Galatians chapter 2, verse 20, which we will read and consider in just a moment. So, if you do have a Bible, quickly go get it while I'm talking to everybody else for just a moment. Now, if you don't have a Bible, here's what you should do first. Call this number. Or maybe text this number. Tell us that you want that free Bible offer. Then give us your first and last name and your complete mailing address, including the city, state, and zip. We'll get you one coming your way just right away. All thanks to the generosity of members of the churches of Christ. The way to the top, to great prominence, is a three-part process. And like most processes, unless you do all three, it won't work. It won't turn out very well for you at all. The three parts are found in Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. So let's just read. See what God has recorded for us. It says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. The first part is for you to die. No, not physically, but from everything about yourself. Saying, I am crucified. That's what Paul said here. And what he also wrote over in Romans chapter 6, verse 6 is, we know that our old self was crucified with him in order that the body of sin might be brought to nothing, so that we would no longer be enslaved to sin. You need to think in terms of self-abandonment. Your hopes and your ambitions are no longer. It's no longer about being the best in your profession, not about being popular. It is by considering yourself as good as dead. And this is even easier when you realize how great a self-emptying, self-sacrificing being Jesus was when he came from heaven down here with us. We read in Philippians 2, beginning in verse 5, have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped. Wait. That means he didn't think of something you need to clutch and hang on to. Verse 7 says, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of men, and being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Jesus allowed himself to be crucified. Now you can say, I am crucified, but only if you set aside your ambitions for success. No longer are you aiming to be the boss. You're not expecting a fine new car every year. You're not having a large home. You are putting your pride away and acting like the lowest person in the company, even in your home or at your congregation. You make serving others more important than rewarding yourself. The first part is to die to yourself. The second part is easy to say, but it's hard to live. It says, I am not me. You see, it's no longer living. Now, let me say it differently. Life is not about you any longer. It's not about me. Jesus said in Luke chapter 14, verse 26, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Jesus is saying you do not, that you're just, if you're not at the very bottom of the pile, completely humble, you are not capable of being his disciple. Philippians chapter 2 verse 3 says, do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. Now this is a big idea. You begin to see other people in your company or your home or at your church or everywhere as far as that goes, all of them as more important than you are. So life is no longer about me. Now it's about everyone but me. I will begin to love and serve my spouse. I will teach and train my children about Jesus every day. When they wake up and when they're eating their breakfast and when they head off to school and when they get home from school and when they're watching TV or videos and when they lay down at night. I will work faithfully for my boss or my superior. You know, Galatians 3:22 and 23 says, bondservants, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not by way of eye service as people pleasers, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men. So, when you go to church, you go to serve others. It's not about what's in it for me. It's not about what can I get, but what can I give. In the congregation, I'm going to help my fellow saints grow and help them mature and strengthen each other and laugh and cry with them. Whatever it takes to make them successful. Life itself is no longer about me. I am saying, I am not me. So, who is this person? Who am I now? Well, that leads us to that third part. And it's the most important part of this three-step process. First, you must die to yourself. Second, you must develop the humility of saying, I am not me. Then, and only then, will you be able to do part 3. You must be capable of saying what is said in Galatians 2:20. Christ is in me. It should be Christ operating from my body along with me. Whatever he wants is what he and I do. If a friend is hungry, I will find a way to feed him. If a traveler's coming through town, well, I'll provide a place for them to stay. If someone is out of clothes, well, I'm not going to put them in my old extra rags that no one wants to wear. I don't wear them. I will go buy them some new clothes. I will take food to the sick, or I might even sit with those who are dying. If a friend or neighbor is incarcerated, I'll go see them. I'll send them letters. I certainly will stay in touch with them. Read with me what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 25, beginning in verse 34. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink? When did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me." The three parts are: 1. Crucifying self. 2. Saying and living like I am not me. And 3rd, being an exact duplicate of Jesus. What did James tell us in James chapter 4, verse 6? But he gives more grace. Therefore it says, God opposes the proud and gives grace to the humble. And then again in verse 10 he says, humble yourselves before the Lord and he will exalt you. And finally over in 1 Peter 5 verse 6, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, that at the proper time he may exalt you. That is when you will be at your greatest, the most successful in your family, the most successful in your town, and in your congregation. Friends, if this video has been helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that all notifications bell. If Timeless Talks can help you to get your life better or back on track, right now would be a real good time for you to simply call this number. We would love to hear from you. Or, on second idea is maybe you would consider coming over to timelesstalks.net. And there you'll find a multitude of videos on all kinds of subjects. And you'll find transcripts, and you'll find free e-booklets, and contact and prayer request pages. All of it for you, all of it free. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes and watching with us. We hope that you'll come back and watch with us, say, again tomorrow. But until then, well, goodbye for now.